Week number 9, we are fresh off the Oscars last night.
That's right.
And a quick shout out to our man Warren Beatty for taking Two Bros and Some Brick global.
Apparently he's a big Two Bros and Some Brick fan because he
Yeah.
took Hands Up Our Bad segment to a whole nother level.
Dude, yeah.
With presenting La La Land and then coming up being like, hey, so Hands Up My Bad, apparently it's Moonlight.
Yeah, it was a little bit of callback to one of our favorite segments.
Appreciate you taking it global, Warren.
Props to you, our man.
And hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up, exactly. But in case you didn't know, we are Two Bros and Some Brick, where every week we break down the who's, what's, who's, who's, or so let's dive in.
Alright, so Logan, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news recently, but there's been this idea of fake news floating around. So much so that our White House press secretary is banning outlets like the New York Times, CNN, Politico, BuzzFeed, others from the press briefing because of their insistence on reporting fake news.
But not Two Bros and Some Brick, for those of you at home. Worried.
But not for lack of trying. We have been trying since day one to get banned from the White House.
That's true.
Since the Obama White House, we've been trying to get
One
banned.
of these days, they're going to ban us.
We're trying to be the bad boys of news, but bad boys of journalism. But
Yeah.
we're on our way, and trust me, we're not going to stop until we get tired.
Yeah, we're getting close, though. We're getting close.
But speaking of fake news, Andy Dorfman, biggest fake news of Bachelor history.
I want to say the fakest news.
You are fake news.
I mean, when she came back this episode, and they were teasing the hell out of this past week, guess what happened? Zero.
Absolutely nothing.
Squadoosh. Any other way you want to call it, that's what happened, because nothing happened from this.
And can we just pause and linger on her credibility with relationships, which seemed to be the crux of this whole talk with her and Nick.
Well, yeah, because she's giving Nick advice on how to handle this thing, because she's been there before. But I don't know, didn't her whole season of The Bachelorette not really work out so well?
No.
Considering Nick is the Bachelor now, and Josh was accused of emotional abuse in her book.
Right.
And she's single, right?
Who does she think she is that she's this gatekeeper for Nick's ability to move on from her or ability to sort of move on in the Bachelor world?
Well, yeah, and they dated what, 2 or 3 years ago, and she's asking him I don't want our relationship to prevent you from going all in on this girl, as if Nick's still up in arms about how that ended. I think he's over it by now.
I think Nick ended the segment actually with saying anyway, I gotta get back to 4 smoking hot women. So if you mind just kind of
I think so, man.
Out.
I think so, man. But yeah, dude, she is the fakest news.
I was
as
gonna
far as I'm
say,
concerned.
speaking of kicking herself out, Andy, in the vein of Sean Spicer banning all those news outlets, you're banned from our studio.
Banned from the studio apartment, dude. You can get out of here.
Until you get some integrity, you are not allowed on our show at all.
GTFO.
How devastating do you think she thinks this is? We'll talk about this off camera.
Of course, one of the only things that actually ended up happening in this hour-long extravaganza that we got tonight, extravaganza that had 0 things come out of it.
It was an hour-long nap.
Yeah, hour-long nap, thank you. Was that Corinne finally went home, which was about, 9 weeks too late?
I was going to say, this is kind of... People might think this is a hand up our bad situation, because we've been predicting it for about 9 weeks, but I'm going to say it's a not to brag, but... Because we predicted this 9 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's finally paying off.
We saw it coming. We were way ahead of the curve on this one.
But speaking of payoffs, isn't the fantasy suite supposed to be the ultimate payoff for a physical attraction that you have with a contestant? And is there anybody who he's had a stronger physical chemistry with than Corinne?
No, physical chemistry is just so, seriously,
I
man.
stumbled out of respect for Nick.
Yeah.
On that sentence.
He's going to appreciate that when he's watching this back. For real, though, dude, because that's the only reason that Corinne's sticking around at this point, right? I mean, is that they're just super, super locked into how much they want to just bang each other.
So why didn't she make it to the actual moment where that physical chemistry was about to, explode or whatever?
I don't know, man. It's curious timing to get rid of her, knowing that if he just keeps her around for one more week, he can get that explosion. He can get it.
Okay, can I pose a theory real quick? Maybe he knew, hey, if I take her to hometowns, maybe she's been dropping hits about loving to swipe that credit card.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought, you know what? I've never had $2,500 on me at one point. And he's like, this is my only shot.
Get a dope outfit out of it, right?
So maybe that was his goal all along.
I don't know. I just assumed that she was going to be joining the ranks of the whole, Liz earlier, right?
Liz community where she just gets daggered and doesn't give her his number.
Maybe that's what he was worried about. I get the
maybe
number at the
Corinne
end.
was like, listen, I love you, but I'm not ready to give you my number. All right, so after Nick sends Corinne home, he takes the remaining 3 ladies, Vanessa, Rachel, and Raven, over to the very popular hotspot of Lapland, Finland.
Yeah.
Which I'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
But apparently it only sees like 2 hours of sunlight a day during this time of year.
Dude, it's a dope place, man. It's like a real life winter wonderland.
Just from what we saw, I was impressed by it.
Super cool place. I don't think they've ever really visited a snowy place in The Bachelor.
I can't think of one. You have a more extensive history with that.
I can't
but
remember.
You know who was very prepared for the Lapland weather?
Who?
It was our boy Nick with his Drake Hotline Bling sweater on.
Yeah, dude, which, I mean, he's inspired by the, culture and, garb of Finland and Scandinavian countries. But, like, dude, if you want to do that whole style, there are better ways to do it, man. Why not get, like, a nice thick cable knit cardigan with some real dope, like, detailing?
I think you could go with like a North Face in that moment. You could go with some like trendy, I don't know, Supreme or Raf Simons if you want to go with like some bulkier stuff.
Well, but don't do the turtleneck, man.
Definitely don't do the Drake turtleneck.
See how many times he's just itching right there?
Oh my
itching
God.
on that
The
thing?
sound guy was tearing his hair out. The amount of times that Raven was like adjusting her off the shoulder thing, and the amount of times that Nick was like scratching her neck, the guy was just like having an aneurysm. But I was expecting Nick to drop things like, listen, ever since I left the city, like,
right, just little Drakeisms. Yeah, Jesus, man. I mean, God.
Hey, listen, in an episode or two, I gotta go visit my buddy Neil Lane, and there's gonna be some diamonds dancing.
That's right.
When I pick this ring out.
Yeah, there are gonna be big rings.
There are gonna be some big rings.
And anything you tell me tonight better become with no strings.
And
you know what I'm saying?
When we get to the fantasy suite tonight, I got energy. Got a lot of energy.
Anyway, man, Raven ends up having one hell of a profession of love to Nick, dude. That was great, man.
If we can be real for a moment, that was one of the most well thought out, considerate, I don't know, there was something like the rhetoric behind it that was just so beautiful.
So eloquent, man. It was so eloquent.
It seemed like she had gone to school for like her major might have been professing love,
Yeah,
as far as we know. That was just astonishing.
It was awesome, dude. And I know that we've kind of like, had different opinions on Raven, I guess, but I think in that moment, we both loved her, right?
I think the only person in that moment who didn't love Raven was the sound guy, the aforementioned sound guy.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. We'll see. It looks like, we'll get a little bit of the date next week when they kind of continue into it.
It cut off right before the fantasy suite.
Yeah.
We saw the pretty amazing digs that they have as far as like possibly getting to see the Northern Lights,
Pretty
the
dope.
glass ceiling, not to go back on the like feminism thing, but if Raven's a feminist, she's got to love the symbolism of the glass ceiling.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But it's looking like it's going to be a good start to the date for Raven. But of course, it would not be a Two Bros and Some Brick recap without the Two Bros and Some Brick stat of the night.
2 bros and some brick, stat of the night, plus an outro.
That was a good high note at the end there, man. I was going to do my own version, but no point now.
The audience isn't going to believe this.
Yeah.
But I haven't practiced this until just now.
That's right, yeah. Straight off the dome.
But speaking of stat of the night, what we're going to focus on is Raven Gates and the amount of time that she has spent total orgasming in her life.
Which is much less than actually the length of this recap video. Because it is zero. It is zero, man.
Sad as that.
Zilch, nada, squadoosh. Any other way you know how to say zero, that's what it is. Zero.
They are in a part of the world that famously gets the least amount of sunlight during the winter. And the amount of sunlight they saw during their date was infinity times the amount that she has spent orgasming in her life.
Dude, infinite amount. But man, we talked about this when we were watching the episode, though. It's odd that, because she touched on it a little bit. She said that part of the reason that she couldn't really get into having sex with her ex was because maybe he wasn't so, I don't know,
faithful.
But it's totally okay when your boyfriend's dating 2 other women on national television, right?
It's weird how that dynamic makes you just like so horny. Is knowing that after he daggers you, it's going to be 2 other girls immediately after.
Oh man,
I don't think there's anything in the world that gets a girl more off than just thinking about, oh god, he's just going to leave me, and I'm so disposable in this moment.
Man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the ex was doing something. Maybe it wasn't going down on her enough. I don't know.
That's a good point, because I mean, we did a very, very short amount of time researching before this, but we spent more time researching this than Raven spent orgasming.
That's right.
But it's somewhere between like 70-80% of women have trouble orgasming through vaginal intercourse, but that number is substantially lower if you go to any other forms of orgasming.
Yeah.
So Raven's ex, hey man,
dude,
it's 2017.
2017, man. What are you doing?
Start munching that box.
Start munching that box.
Which means it's time to end the episode.
It's time to end the episode.
When you hear those words, it means episode, it's about to be over.
That's right. Yeah. Speaking of box, go ahead and hit that red subscribe box down below so that you can join us next week and the week after for more wonderful orgasm talk.
And speaking of eating, if you just love consuming our content, go to @2brosbrick on Twitter or Instagram. Yeah. Make sure to follow us. Make sure to like all of our posts, comment on it.
Tell us if you had an orgasm before or something. I don't know. I mean,
obviously we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here for engagement, but you know what? Whatever helps.
Whatever helps. Until then, we will see y'all next week. Adios, y'all.
Peace out.